Hi guys, how are you doing? So today we'll be doing the Pascal Triangle task, and it's an interesting task. So for this Pascal Triangle, I'll just go straight into the code and let's go through it. So the first thing is you need to create your repository, which I've done, ELX interview, and you create your directory OXO Pascal, which I have done. And after that, you see that we have a README file. Okay, so I'm trying to talk loud so that the noise here would not affect me that much. So let's create the file. So we'll copy this file and paste it here. So let me just say touch it. All right. So we have the file already, and then we need our what's it called? Main.py file. Main.py file. So I'll be or let me use Emacs this main.py, and then I'm going to copy this up to this point. I like using Emacs to paste main file because it helped me align it properly. So Emacs might take time, so let's just wait for it, and it should load anytime from now. It should load anytime from now. I think this Emacs is taking time. Let me interrupt it. All right, it's taking time. Let me use vi zero main py. Yes, and then I paste the link there. Why is it not copying? I copied it, right? Why is it not pasting? Copy and paste. You see, it's not aligning very well. So let me just use Emacs because I can't be zero min.py. I can't be re-indenting it. That's gonna waste my time. So that's why I like using Emacs. Okay, so while that one is opening, let me just open this guy over here and open another tab so we can continue writing our code. So I think Emacs is open now. Why is it taking time to open? I don't like that this thing is wasting time. Okay, so I pasted it and I have it there. So I have my main.py. So if I cut my main.py now, you can see it's aligned properly. So I will make it executable. So I'll make sure it is executable. And oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. It's supposed to be ch mode. Sorry. Yes. And then I'll open my Pascal file and then shebang user. Let me see my screen. Binary and then Python 3. Then I'll say this is a Python or this is a Pascal Triangle generator file. This is a Pascal Triangle generating file. I'll give it two space, one, two, and then the third line. So we'll write our function. So what is the function definition? As you can see, it is what Pascal triangle. So we say define Pascal underscore triangle. Define Pascal triangle n. Okay, good. And then we'll give it a function name. This one prints a lists of lists as a Pascal triangle based on n given number. There's a, okay, so I think we're good with that. And what else do we need? So you can see, I think we were given it here, defined, yes. So I think we used the right prototype for our work. So the first thing you want to do when you want to do your Pascal triangle is that you want to make sure first every your response will be inside a list, and as you can see here, response is in a list. So you only want to execute your code when it is an integer. Why it is not working? Okay, so when it is if only if n is greater than 0, that is when you want to execute this code. So this one will be executed only when n is greater than 0. I'm sorry about the noise here, so let's continue. So the next thing is we want to print the Pascal triangle based on how many n. So if we have 2, it means 2 lines. So it means we want to go through the loop number of n times. So we'll say for, let's say I in range, normally we'll just say range n, right, which will go from 0 to, so if it is 5, 0 to 4, right, which is still 5. But for this tax, I would use 1 to n plus 1, which is still the same thing, because I'm just adding 1 here. I'm saying it should not start from 0, and it should add extra 1 here. I can't really shout here, so um, let's just go with the flow. Okay, so basically what I'm doing here is, because I don't want to use the 0, I want to use 1. That's why I'm making it start with 1, and then I'm adding 1 here. Okay, because I want I to be 1 at most times, not 0. You get? So that's it. Then I would create a new list and give it this an empty string. So for each time, for the first row, it will be a list for this, and it will append it into this list. For the second list, it will be a list too, like that. For the second row, like that. So let's say our column is 1 for each column we see, because Pascal triangle, we have it to be something like 1, and then 1, 1, and then 1, 2, right, if I'm correct, 1, 2, and then 2, 1, something like that. So basically that's what we want to do. And then we would say for j in range, we'll also do the same thing. I 1, and then the amount of I times plus 1. Okay, good. So now for the first row, so let's say n is 1, it means that since n is 1, this one will be 2, and this one is 1. So this one is just going to go from 1 to 2. Remember that the last one in range will not be executed. So only once. This loop will execute only once. Then new list will be empty for now, right? And then C is already 1, right? Capital letter C is 1, right? So remember the first for the first row, we have 1 to be the first what's it called, item. So what we'll do is we say for j in range, right? So for j in range 1, and then c is already 1, right? So we want to just loop from 1 to, what is I is 1 as well. So we just want to go this loop one time, right? So inside this loop now, we will say new list, which is what is inside here. So new list, and then we'll append c into it, which is 1, right? So for that first time, new list becomes 1, right? So good. So at the end of the day, we compute for C. This is the binomial formula, and it is the shortened form, which is C equals to C times open bracket close bracket I minus J, and then we'll have double slash. This double slash means integrate integer division, so it should not remain decimal points. Okay, and then we divide it by J, and then the next thing we're going to do is we say rest, which is our return function. So we'll append that new list into it. So we'll append new list. That's would return one to the person. New underscore list. And at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to return that rest. Okay. So basically this it's when so sorry. So the return would be here. So here we'll say when n is not, maybe n is 0, it will just return an empty list here, right? So when n is 1, n becomes 1, and then this one would only iterate once, right? So since this one is going once, this one also is going once. So c equals to 1, and then new list becomes 1. So this one becomes 1, and then the main guy that is being returned would be housing just 1. So at that point, it becomes 1. So the second time this formula gets computed, I don't want to waste too much of your time, but you can always Google or just type this formula to Google, and then you see that it's a binomial function in order to get um, the next Pascal triangle based on the previous one. Okay, so if we do that, and sorry, let us run our script. You can see we have 1 1 1 2 1 1 3 1 1 4 6 1. Yeah. So I think the analogy I was making where I said 1 2 2 1 is wrong, is supposed to be 1 to 1. Sorry about that. Yeah. So basically that's it. And Pascal triangle is just gotten from the addition of the previous one by saying this one is because 1 and 0 is 1, and then 1 and 0 is 1. This one 1 and 0 is 1, 1 and 1 is 2, and 1 and 0 is 1. Yeah. So this one is gotten by saying 1 and 0 is 1, 1 and 2 is 3, 2 and 1 is 3, 1 and 0 is 1. So this one will be 1 and 3, 1 and 0 first, 1 and 3 4, 3 and 3 6, 3 and 1 4, and 1 and 0 1. So basically that's the logic behind it. So let us see if our code is bytecode style compliant. So we do that, and then if it is, then we git add and git commit, sorry, and push it. So if that pushes fine, then we check our code if it is correct. Did it push? Good. So let us check our code. So it checked correctly, and that's it. If you have any question or you'd like me to explain how the formula is being gotten, you can let me know in the comment section. So I would do that. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.